Hey there YouTube, this is Brian. I'm back again, and I'm just going to show you guys some back issues I've picked up recently over the last week and a half. Um, this first group I'm going to show you is some books that I picked up at my local comic shop that I go to, and I'm just trying to fill in some of the gaps in my Avengers books. So, first one is Avengers 268, 271. I really like this cover. I think a lot of the books that I like are covers that I like. Anyways, have maybe a solid back color like this one does, and all the action going on the front. Then I have 242. Looks like the couple of new Warriors got in on this one. I think this may have been. I think Rage got in with the New Warriors at one point. Um, I don't remember exactly because it's been a long time since I've even looked at any New Warriors comics. But um, I don't know. Here, when spring comes, I'm gonna have to drive up to New York and pick up some of my books from my mom's house. So I'll be able to check that stuff out then. Um, Moving on, I got 245, 46, 47, 48, 350, 351, 355, 356, 357, and then that was it for volume one. And I picked up one from, I think this is probably volume three of the Avengers. I'm doing that going on that based on the 486 and the little fake number 71 there. Now I've got a complaint about this particular issue of the Avengers. Um, I bought it because I really like the cover, like the Wasp, and there's Hank. I didn't even realize he was on there when I first bought this. Anyways, so the Wasp and Yellow Jacket, they're in Vegas, and the issue starts out with them in bed, but it doesn't. It's not just them in bed. You know, you see them underneath the covers, whatever. That kind of insinuating that they're getting busy, but it starts off with a couple of panels where she's grabbing the sheets and making her sexy dad noises, and it leads to a panel where you see Hank as like Ant-Man size crawling out from underneath the covers up between Janet's boobs, and he's smiling this freakish smile saying it's your turn. Now the only thing that just brought to mind some of those horrible jokes you hear when you're a kid, help me find my car, I'll drive us out of here, that kind of thing. Now I've never been I've never been one to be overly offended by things, but I feel like a scene like that, if it's going to be in a comic book, it belongs to something like Vertigo, or one of those new a newer Image title that's geared toward more mature readership, not an Avengers comic, which in my opinion is, even though I'm 40 years old and still reading comic books, Avengers, Captain America, Spider-Man's, pretty much most of the Marvel line, most of the DC line, in my opinion, should be written to children, as far as the level of inappropriateness that they put in there. I think it's in my opinion, it's unacceptable, and I didn't realize it until after I bought the book home and read it. Now I enjoyed the story; it was all right, but at the same time, I wouldn't let a child read this book. Um, it's it just kind of irritated me a bit. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox about that, and I'm gonna move on to a few other books that I bought at my local shop. This first one I got is an Image book, and it is appropriate for children, in my opinion. So it's Rocket Girl #1. That is a second printing. I've seen the first printing, but I've never actually, I didn't decide to buy this book until after the first printing was already gone, and so I just got the second printing. In my opinion, it's a pretty nice cover. So I like that. I read that book and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Move on to issue 2. Now I haven't read issue 2. This one had gotten beat up a little bit. There's color breaks here, spine breaks here, and it's not a great copy, but I'm not that worried about it. Then I got issue 3 of the same title, and so far I gotta say I like the first issue. I like the covers on all 3 of these books, and I'm looking forward to getting inside of the 2 and 3. Alright, now I think that ends it for books I got at my local shop, so I'm going to go ahead and move these out of the way and get some more for you. Actually, no, that's not all from my local shop, but we'll take a break from my local shop and go to a little eBay bunch that I got. Now these books they're all Marvel books, but it's just 4 issues that were thrown together in a lot of comics for, I don't know why, because they don't all go together at all, but I'm going to take a stab at them anyways. This first one is Marvel Superheroes featuring the Incredible Hulk. Now, I'm not sure, but I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that this is like when they did Marvel Tales and just reprinted Amazing Spider-Man. Somebody please let me know if that is the case with this, because I'm thinking it's just a reprint of an older Incredible Hulk. Now the next one I got is The Thing. It's number 35. Now with this book, and now the all new Miss Marvel, that's actually a woman named Sharon. She got her power from the Power Broker. This is back when the Thing was in that like unlimited class wrestling, so Sharon there, she went to this guy named the Power Broker and paid to have herself augmented to superhuman levels. Sharon and the Thing ended up dating for a while, and at one point she had been turned into a female version of the Thing, all orange and lumpy. So that's how that goes. This next book is Wolverine number 46. Now, I haven't read it yet, and I'll get to it when I get to it. But I do like that it's by Mark Silvestri. He's one of the pencilers that's worked on X-Men and Wolverine that I think is one of the better ones that has worked on the titles. Now this last book is it's the 4th book in this little lot that I bought, and it's the reason I bought the lot. It's not in the best of shape, but I think this lot cost me maybe $6 with shipping. It's Dazzler number 1. I don't know why. I just got it because I liked Dazzler in her run in the the X-Men in the late 80s and early 90s, and so I thought about just trying to pick up some more of her stuff from early on when she was the Disco Queen like that. So these next 2 books, I mentioned before that I bought the first trade of Chew, and I read it, and I really, really enjoyed the book. So these are just the last 2 issues that happen to be at my comic shop, my local comic shop. It's Chew 35 and Chew 36. So I'm gonna try to get some back issues, and so I have a better idea of the stories and what goes on. I'm probably not going to make a huge attempt to get like the early ones, the first 10 or so, because I just think that right now they're probably, the prices I've seen on eBay are pretty high. I'll probably try to let that simmer, or hope it simmers and they drop back down to a price that's okay. Right now I do have a bid in on a copy of this that's CGC. It's a signature series, so it's autographed by Rob Gilroy. If I win it, I win it. If not, not a big deal. Okay, what do I got next? Alright, next up is... Got these from, like, the dollar bin. And it's Archer and Armstrong, Volume 1, Number 1. And Archer and Armstrong, Volume 2, Number 2. I didn't read the Archer and Armstrong books back in the first, in Valiant's heyday. I don't know why, I just never picked them up, but I do enjoy the new Archer and Armstrong, so I thought I would go back and try to get these and see how it is. So far, I like it. I do enjoy the art on the new series more than on this, and I think it's Barry Windsor Smith. I'm not sure what the deal was, but it seems like when he went from Marvel and whoever he was working for before Valiant, it seems like his work at Valiant has just took on a whole new aspect to it, so that for me anyways, it's not immediately apparent as being Barry Windsor Smith if you're not keeping up with it. The next book I've bought is, again, this one was actually cover price. It was like $4, $3.99. That's Damsels by Dynamite. It's the first issue. The only reason I bought the book was because of the cover. It's a J. Scott Campbell, and it's really, really nice, really beautiful. All right, the next two we're gonna go back to like 1970 on, and the first one is, I bought it because it reminds me of Futurama. The cover does. Now take a look at that. It's number 4, issue number 4 of Where Monsters Dwell, and that monster that the guy created in his cellar looks a lot like it'd be an alien on Futurama. I mean, it just when I found this cover, it just immediately said Futurama to me. So that's why I picked that one up. Now the next one is Tower of Shadows number 7, and I'm 100% certain that that's Dr. Zoidberg on the cover. I might be wrong, but it looks like Dr. Zoidberg to me. I'm gonna move these. Now this next batch I bought on I picked these up on Wednesday, and I picked them up at a new comic shop. Well, it's not a new comic book shop, but it's a comic shop that I had never been to before. And I decided that since, the shop that I always go to, I'm pretty familiar with the back issues of what, of books that I'm looking for and what they've got on the wall and in their back issue bins and I've already dug through them quite a few times. So I thought, Wednesday was my birthday, so I thought I'd give myself a present by going to a new shop and digging through back issue bins and seeing if I could find something nice that I need for my collection. So that's what I did on my way home from school. And I found that's What If, issue 39. And you can see it's What If the Mighty Thor battled Conan the Barbarian. And I didn't even know this book existed, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's a no-brainer. Everybody wants to know that. So I snapped that one up. Next up, I've got issue number 1 of the Thunderbolts. You saw recently that I picked up a whole bunch of Thunderbolts books, and so I figured I saw number 1 for $5. Figured why not? So that's that. Now up next, I've got, more in line with the Dazzler, I have issue number 130 of the Uncanny X-Men. Again, I've mentioned before that I'm making an attempt to get all the Uncanny X-Men from Giant Size X-Men all the way through to I don't even know what the last issue was for Volume 1, but I'm going to make an effort to hit that, to get that. I think it's really, I think it's a very realistic goal. 94, 95 might be pricey, but it's a lot less expensive than if I were to try to go all the way back to issue number 1 and try to fill in that way. And so next up, I have the Uncanny X-Men number 152. This cover is pretty cool because, I mean, hey, everybody loves a cat fight, right? And what's different about this cover and the cat fight is that while it is Storm fighting the White Queen, they're in the wrong bodies. This is a Freaky Friday switch on you, folks. So we're going to skip from 152 to 156 with an introduction, or going to enter the Starjammers. I think that's beginning of when, or around the time that they get involved with the Brood. I don't know. I haven't read it yet, so I got to dig into it and see. Then from 156, I've got 160 sitting here. I'm not sure when Wolverine switched to this costume. I'm sure I can look in Overstreet and figure it out, but this might be one of the first times that he wore it on a cover. I'll have to look and make sure. If one of you knows, go ahead and leave it in comments and let me know. And speaking of, if I ever make a mistake on information I'm putting out, and you know that I've made the mistake, please correct me. I welcome that, because that's part of what being in a good community is about. So I got 160, and I also got 161. Again, haven't read it yet. Need to dig into it. And the last book that I got at that shop is... This is one of my favorite covers for an X-Men comic of this era. It's 165, and it's by Paul Smith. And again, I can't say it enough that I think that this guy's underrated and underappreciated. I just think that his work is so nice and so clean. Okay, so that's it for the comic books. Now I'm going to remove them and talk about something else real quick. Alright, so I'm guessing that most of you noticed that instead of my 300 movie poster in the background, I've also added this little Bruce Timm magazine. It's actually not a it's like a magazine, but it's not. It's Modern Masters, and it's volume 3, and it's about Bruce Timm. And I go to I'm going to school right now for graphic design, and in the library at the school, they have a pretty good selection of trade paperbacks and comic-related storytelling. And this is one of the books from the school. Now, it basically goes through and follows Bruce Timm. It's basically one long interview, and it goes from Bruce Timm's early influences in comics and his early career, all the way up to, I think, when he started doing the DC, not after Batman, the Justice League cartoon. But this is a really was a really good read. I checked it out. I read it once about 3 months ago, and I checked it out again recently just because I wanted to show you guys on here. So it's pretty cool. And I got on Amazon to look this up to see how much it costs, and I don't remember the price on this one, but I did find one for Art Adams, Modern Masters, and I think that thing was up in the $60-$70 range. I'm considering picking it up because I really like Art Adams' work. I can't really say enough about it. So that's all I've got for now. I'm probably going to slow down on the back issues just because money's getting a little bit tight because I've been throwing a lot of it at comics lately. So thanks for watching, and please like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Alright, so one more thing. I got one question for you. So of all the Bruce Timm things that he's done, what's your favorite. Thank you.